Welcome back, and thank you for watching Arise and Shine. If you loved Magic Mike and the New York City Fireman's Calendar, you'll love the pinup calendar you're about to see. It's chock full of not only good-humored, but good and hairy New York cab drivers, and some beautiful ones, too.
With us today are Phil and Shannon Kirkland, the creators of the New York City Taxi Calendar, and some of their sexy models, Giovanni Ospina and Janie Quispe. Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you so much for being with us.
So I want to know, how is it that you came up with this idea to make a taxi cab driver calendar?
The origins of it are actually a few years back. The initial calendar that we did was of my oldest brother as a gag gift for my sister-in-law. So we put it out in December 2012, well received, family and friends enjoyed it. So from there we were sort of kicking around ideas of other groups of individuals that we could sort of highlight and sort of expand upon the idea. And long story short, we just sort of naturally came upon taxi drivers.
Yeah, I mean, what's more iconic than a New York City taxi driver?
Right. Absolutely. So you guys were featured in the calendar. You're February, I believe. Yes. And you're the only couple, I think, in the calendar, right? What was it like to get involved with this project, and were you excited about it?
Yes, I was very excited, especially because it goes to a good cause, the university settlement, which helps immigrant families. And since my family were immigrants, when they just arrived here, you know, it means a lot to me to be part of this calendar, and I'm so happy that Shannon and Phil picked us to be in the calendar.
You know, you just said an important thing about the immigrant factor of the calendar. Can you explain a little more about that?
What the university settlement
project? What makes this very unique?
Yeah, so as it turns out, 90% of New York City's taxi drivers are immigrants. So this particular organization was particularly special because they have programs for immigrant and working families. So they've been a wonderful partner to us, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit university.
I heard you actually raised $40,000.
Yeah, last year's calendar, we were really excited about last year's calendar. It did end up raising $40,000.
Yeah, and our sort of initial goal was, you know, hope to break even.
Right, and yeah, you weren't expecting probably that major success, I guess you would say. And I mean, that really speaks to me. My parents are immigrants, so, you know, I relate to you guys too. And how long have you guys been driving taxis?
Well, I've been driving on and off since I was about 24. I used to drive when I was in college, like moonlight as a taxi driver whenever I needed money.
And there aren't a lot of female taxi drivers, right?
But my family's actually in the taxi business as well. My mother, she drove for 10 years. My aunt is currently working as a taxi driver as well. So it's nice to see women taxi drivers out there.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, people are so nice, and they're so receptive to seeing a woman taxi driver. So it's fun. It's actually very fun.
And you mentioned that you guys are immigrants. Where are you guys both from?
Well, actually, I was born here. My parents are originally from Ecuador.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. I have friends from Colombia. So how does it feel being a couple and being able to have this experience together and sharing this?
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, I call him on the phone. I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm at the airport. It's moving pretty well. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm here too. So I'll see him. We'll pass each other by. And it's fun.
That's awesome.
And we wave, and we're like, hi.
And how is it to create together as a couple?
It's good. I mean, we have our moments where we have our sort of disagreements, but we've done this enough that we sort of know that if one of us is sort of being stubborn, it just takes a little bit of time for us to kind of come out of that.
Yeah. You guys obviously found them. How did you find all your models? I mean, did you just talk to people when you were riding in taxis, or how did you find them?
We did a bit of that, but we ended up getting most of our models from, it's a website sort of similar to a Craigslist for taxi drivers. It's called NYC Cab, and they happened to be checking the site, and Giovanni found the ad, and I think you said you just thought it'd be a good time.
So you took the initiative. You're like, I'm going to do this.
Yes, let me try. Here we are.
I think it's beautiful.
Was it difficult? I mean, did you get a good reception? I mean, were there lots of people who wanted to be in it, or were there people who said, wow, this sounds scary and weird or something?
It's varied because it's very unique in that you have to be very comfortable with yourself. I mean, we're obviously not looking for chiseled abs and sort of the stereotypical. We're not looking for the stereotypical, you know.
You're looking for real people.
Yeah.
Right.
Real people.
For very real people.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit of a roadblock, but yeah, I mean, it's easier to sort of convey, I think, online, where you can sort of have a lot easier discussion. But I mean, like Shannon was saying, we tried to approach drivers on the street And it's can be a little bit shocking to be like, hey, would you like to be in our calendar?
These men without their shirts off. Would you like to do this?
Amazing.
But I think it's great. I think it's human. I love the look of it, especially, for me, I like December, but the calendar is very cute. And I just want to know, how can people go ahead and get this calendar and
So
participate?
the calendar's available at nyctaxicalendar.com.
NYCTaxiCalendar.com.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. And I guess I am also curious to know, from your guys' perspective, I feel like taxis is something that we all ride in taxis, so we're all accustomed to that. But from your perspective, I mean, what's the hardest part about what you guys do?
Well, for me, it was the bathroom part because it's hard to find a bathroom.
That is so funny.
In New York City while you're driving because
Yes,
there's
that's
parking
true.
spots designated for taxi drivers.
Oh,
but There's
really?
so many taxis that sometimes it's full. So it's
Wow.
hard to find a bathroom. I mean, it's fun, it's good money, but sometimes it's hard on your body, on your health.
Absolutely.
Because you're sitting for so many hours, you have to stop and look for a bathroom, find something to eat. So it's a little
I
bit
bet you meet
taxing.
some interesting people, though.
Actually, I have. Everybody has been really nice and receptive. Like I said, I love it. It's nice.
And before we go, I wanted to also ask about Kenya.
Yeah, last summer I was actually volunteering in Kenya, and we had a welcoming
But
ceremony
you weren't
with the
just
community.
volunteering, you were building a school.
We were,
Yes.
yeah, we were actually building a schoolhouse in a rural community, which was
Amazing.
unbelievable and life-changing. We were having a welcoming ceremony, and one of the elders in the community and I were dancing together, and he actually spat on me. And I was taken a little aback, but our Maasai warrior that was leading our group said, "Oh my goodness, wonderful things are going to happen for you this year. This is an
Wow.
incredible blessing." And I couldn't help but
And then
think.
look what happened.
I couldn't help but think at the end of the year when we were, experiencing all of this wonderful feedback about the calendar that an elder in a Kenyan community spat on me, and
And it
here
made
we
all
are.
this come
right?
true. And what's great is that everyone gets to be a part of it, and hopefully now it'll be passed down, some of the good luck, and you'll find more bathrooms. And
You have the calendar.
We do,
This
yes.
is amazing.
So
This is
again,
the
where can we
calendar.
find it?
NYCTaxiCalendar.com.
So I'm gonna, since you guys are celebrities now, I think you're February,
Yes, we
right? I think we need an autograph. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Would you mind?
That's pretty cool. I bet you never expected it to become what it is now.
Sure. I mean, we
you.
were cautiously optimistic, but I think we.
I don't think I'll ever
it's
look
amazing.
at a taxi driver ever again, but I'd like to thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing your calendar and sharing the fact that you drive and the couple experience.
Thank you.
Earlier this week, Captain Ronald Johnson of the Missouri State Highway Patrol talked with Arise America's Debbie Turner Bell to discuss their plans for keeping the peace if the grand jury doesn't indict Officer Darren Wilson. That interview is coming up. Also, Arise 360 caught up with the brain behind Lil Wayne, Mac Main. There's much more ahead on Arise and Shine, so stay right here where you are, okay? And if you have to go to the bathroom, just hurry back.